What's going on, y'all? You're now watching the greatest channel that has ever existed. My name is Bitcoin Benito, and I truly appreciate you guys for being here with me. So as you can see, the background is different. It's kind of blurry and everything. My camera quality is a little bit better, or a little bit stylized, a little bit. I'm wearing the sexy summertime outfit, whatever. We're in a new environment. This is how we're going to record it from now on and make some few changes in the future, but this is pretty much what's going on. So today we're going to talk about Richard Hart. He recently did an interview. He hasn't been out in a long time. There's a lot of rumors. In fact, it's pretty much confirmed that he either lives in Finland or stays in Finland for a long time. The SEC has been trying to sue him, but they've been losing every single part of that case so far. So he's going to be found not guilty. And the worst thing that has happened to him is that he's going to have to pay a couple $1 million in fines, even though he's a billionaire allegedly, right? So nothing bad will happen. And this will end up being good news for Hex and for PulseChain and for PulseX too, which is another coin that he has. We're going to watch our interview together. We're going to watch a video together. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. And I'm going to go step by step through it, at least the first half of the video. And we'll explain with it as we go along and how this is very potentially powerful for the price of PulseChain. So as we can see, PulseChain is doing kind of sort of okay in the past month. It's been down about, 10%? It's been down only 10% in the last month. And even today it's been up. It's been up 7% today and about up 0.5% in the past week. So PulseChain is doing a little bit good. It's finally starting to go through that bottom. We are now at the beginning of June. So you're going to start seeing a lot of tokens either go sideways or slowly start to become horizontal as they look to explode during their growth phase in the end of 2024. Nothing is going to stop this from happening. This is going to be very, very good. Okay. So let's listen to the part of the interview and I'll explain it into detail as we go along.
Well, I told you all not to pick up pennies in freight trains, not to pick up pennies in front of freight trains, not to risk your whole stack for 7%, not to do the opposite of why cryptocurrency was invented and take counterparty risk. It just blew my mind. And then these same idiots are doing the same stuff. Oh, here's another funny thing. Solana, which pumped recently, is being claimed in court by the SEC to be a security in both the Kraken case and the Coinbase case. Pumped anyway.
Yes. So something similar happened to his own PulseChain coin. The SEC also came out with some lawsuits or whatever, saying that he was pretending to be a security when he wasn't, even though he passed the Huey test and all this stuff. And just like Solana, PulseChain, although PulseChain hasn't gone through its parabolic phase, it hasn't pumped as much as Solana. Solana is through the roof. And Solana also has lots of bugs. But yes, there's a huge community that's into Solana. And Solana has extremely cheap fees. So it's just a new version of Ethereum. So people love Solana. The community of Solana is so strong, just like PulseChain. Although PulseChain, the community of PulseChain is more zealots, but the community is very, very strong. That's why this will not die anytime soon.
Now, so right now I'm just kind of talking about market things. So 4 years of perfect flawless operation with Hex, while everyone else got wrecked. Called the top of the day, never went over that price. Yay. World's largest free airdrop, worth millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, billions of dollars market cap all over the place. 4 years of perfect flawless operation in Hex, 227 days perfect flawless operation in PulseChain. These things are all going very good. Now, and apparently getting called a security doesn't mean you can't pump, because there you go. It's on a pump.
Yes, that's what he just said. The same thing about Solana. PulseChain has been accused to become a security, but it's not going to be found guilty as a security when the thing comes out. Then, of course, he has to say all his common, I called the top on the day for Bitcoin. He's talking about the copy of Ethereum. That's PulseChain, the chain that we've been talking about recently. Here he's talking about free airdrops. Yes, he gave you a copy of all your Ethereum tokens. He gave you a copy of all your ERC20 tokens on the PulseChain network, even though a lot of them are not worth that much. But they're going to continue to grow in value throughout the bull run. So the idea of this video is really just to tell you to keep investing in PulseChain. Maybe you don't have to invest in it right now, because like I said, in the past month, it has gone down about 10%. And it is about half the value of its all-time high. Its all-time high was almost three times its sacrifice price. And now it's about 84% below its all-time high, but that's okay. I would say start allocating some money to invest in this. Start investing in it in July or August, because that's when it's already slowly starting to become horizontal and is going to slowly become diagonal again in the right direction. This is the same thing with Xen Crypto, although Xen Crypto maybe is going to start becoming horizontal in the fall time instead of this end of the summer. And TitanX is already slowly starting to go up itself too, although, I guess you could still say that it's horizontal.
Also, what I think is funny, a few things about Solana. It used to be down all the time. And now it just has a lot of inflation. So apparently the way Solana works is that they inflate it a lot to subsidize the fees to be cheaper, which then, if the guys that are getting inflation ever decide to sell it, is going to suck. So Solana has very high inflation compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has very high inflation compared to Ethereum. And I think Ethereum's inflation is very similar to PulseChain's, but I'd have to look. There's some website that has like a counter. Because basically in Ethereum and PulseChain, they both use EIP 1559. And even though PulseChain has 25% less base inflation, so if the gas usage on both systems was the same, PulseChain would inflate 25% less. But EIP 1559 introduces burning, and burning increases as a result of what percentage of the block space you're using. So they target 30 million gas, and then the fees get a lot higher if you go over half of that. So they're really targeting 15 million gas of the 30 million max. And PulseChain inherited a lot of those parameters. So long story short, because the gas fees are so cheap on Pulse, we might not be pushing into that gas demand as hard, so we might not be burning as much. So there's a chance that PulseChain is inflating a little bit more than Ethereum, but probably, last time I checked, still less than Bitcoin. Yay. We're talking like Bitcoin's at like 1.2% inflation.
So he's saying all this to say that the inflation rates of PulseChain is very, very low. It's very similar to Ethereum. And because the inflation rate is extremely low, it's lower than the US dollar, it's lower than the euro, it's lower than any other asset, it's lower than a lot of stocks and bonds. Because the inflation rate is really low, it's going to continue to hold its power during this bull run phase that we're starting to get into right now.
Like Ethereum's negative 0.18 or something. These are very small percentages. So, but, a percentage of a very large market cap is a lot of money. $1 billion. That's a lot of money. Wow. Is Bitcoin worth 500 billion? Let's look.
So this interview was from about 3-4 months ago. So it was worth about 500 billion then. Now we know that Bitcoin is worth about 1.2 trillion market cap. 1.2 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. Yes. So Bitcoin is absolutely exploding. It's starting to grow exactly the time that we said it would. It does this every 4 years. I can't believe people are still not investing into crypto. It is so predictable. It's written in the code to happen every 4 years. I'm not some genius. I'm literally just copy and pasting what it says in the code and then displaying it to all you guys right now. Telling it to you for free. Crypto's crazy.
Yep. It's 855 billion. Wow. So basically that means that the miners are getting paid billions of dollars a year to dump the price to enrich mining hardware manufacturers and electric companies and hurt the environment. Hey, but most of it's renewable. Yeah, but not all of it. So there you go. Still hurting the environment. PulseChain. Billion. Wow. So basically that means that the miners are getting paid billions of dollars a year to dump the price to enrich mining hardware manufacturers and electric companies and hurt the environment. Hey, but most of it's renewable. Yeah, but not all of it. So
Yeah. So he always dunks on Bitcoin because it uses tons and tons of energy, and like he said, most of it is renewable, so it doesn't really matter. And the benefit of Bitcoin is that it uses way less energy than the traditional finance system. And number two, it is a hedge against the traditional finance system, the hedge against the traditional fiat currencies. So while it's not 100% necessary for you to use a proof of work network, which is what burns all the energy that he's talking about, it is the fact that it's based on physics and it is based on the real world gives it more real world value than Ethereum, which is just based on the social value of the networks that use it and the intelligence of the ERC20 and the Ethereum contracts, of course. The intelligence of the contracts and then the fact that it's socially based is what gives Ethereum its value. But Bitcoin's value is actually based off of the physical, real world energy that exists in the actual universe, right? So that is the difference. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that Bitcoin uses energy. And that being said, Bitcoin uses such a minimal amount of energy. It uses less energy than Christmas lights. It uses less energy than video games. It uses less energy than all of that. And most of that energy, like he says, is actually renewable. So,
oh, there you go. Still hurting the environment. PulseChain solved this. Also, Ethereum solved this, right? You don't need to destroy the environment or enrich electricity companies or enrich mining hardware manufacturers to maintain a consensus network. Period. And funny thing about Bitcoin consensus network is it actually sucks. So you guys that like Bitcoin that are watching, screw you guys. Screw your bags. I'm going to educate you.
He does not like Bitcoin. I don't know if you could tell. He does not like Bitcoin. But, who cares? I'm whatever coin is the best coin is what we should invest in. So Bitcoin has its positives and negatives. PulseChain has its positives and negatives. Let's listen to some more.
And half you guys sent all of your people to go get yield and things that went bankrupt. Why? Because you can't get yield online. Why? Because Bitcoin sucks. Oh, you want to get into a stable coin? You got on-chain exchange? No. Oh, wrecked. Oh, you want to, have high throughput? I think the throughput is at least 4.5 times higher on PulseChain than Bitcoin. But also, how many times cheaper? Let's look here. Gas. 45,000 times cheaper. But it also has more features. And if you just compare like a network that only does sends on Bitcoin versus another network like PulseChain, just pretend it was only doing sends, it'd be a lot more than 4.5. That 4.5 number is based on like the average usage, and the average usage is a lot of complicated stuff like swaps and staking and unstaking, all kinds of stuff. And so if you like took the usage of the network and like equalized it with just sending native tokens back and forth, it would be like maybe 30 times. Can't remember, I did this math once before, like a month ago, but it's significantly more than 4.5 times. So PulseChain versus Bitcoin, better for the environment, lower inflation, better features, more secure, never been hacked, on that list. It's a superior network.
But he's forgetting the one small aspect. Bitcoin has way bigger of a market cap than PulseChain. PulseChain's market cap is about a couple $1 billion. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's market cap is over 1 trillion, over 1.2 trillion dollars right now. So it's still the biggest fish in the pond. That being said, though, PulseChain, because it's only worth a couple $1 billion, it has way more of a potential to grow. Bitcoin, I think, is only going to do about a 3x at the maximum. I think Bitcoin is going to reach a peak of about $200,000 at the end of 2025. Meanwhile, PulseChain can do a 10x, 50x. I always say that PulseChain is going to do a 100x from its all-time low. Its all-time low was about a year ago, and it was, what was that? 4 zeros and a 257. That was his all-time low. It's up 76% since then. But I said that's going to do a 100x of this all-time low. So that would equal 0.2 of a penny is what I think its all-time high will be. At least it's probably going to be much higher than that. And then we will go from there. Okay. So let's hear the final thoughts from him.
Now, what does Bitcoin have? More liquidity. Why? It's been around for 10 times longer. And it hasn't been gatekept by every possible thing, which is fine. So, at some point, someone is going to, I guess there's some people in Australia already doing it, but like the best time to buy Bitcoin was when everyone thought it was a scam. The best time to buy Bitcoin was when it had the lowest liquidity. The best time when you could buy Bitcoin was when it was almost traded on no exchange anywhere. It was nearly impossible to buy. The only place you could buy it was like Mt. Gox, Magic the Gathering online exchange in Japan. That was the best time to buy Bitcoin. Cool. Well, PulseChain has some of those parameters. It's still very early. This gatekeeping that everyone's doing, it can't get any worse. It can only get better, right? Like the gates can only open.
Yeah, so Bitcoin is pretty much just a much better version of gold right now. Like I said, the most that Bitcoin will do right now in the next year or two is do a 3x, and then you need to sell it when it does that 3x, right? Don't just hold on to it forever. Sell it for US dollars, and then when the price goes back down, buy the Bitcoin again. That way your leverage opportunity in Bitcoin can grow and grow and grow much faster. Don't be like those idiots that just buy and hold forever and ever. Don't be stupid. You need to be able to sell it at the right time, sell it high, then buy it low again. Okay, so you will have more Bitcoin than other people that do not. Okay, that just been buying and holding. Okay, so that's part 1 of the video. I thank you for watching this. I'm telling you this because I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Let's get this money.